Thank you for that. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for having us over. I represent WinMagic. We are a data security company. We help we help our customers authenticate and manage their keys. And I would be talking in a very generic way more around the fundamental threat that we have, which is the building block of all cyber threat that we discussed in this particular session. And of course, the panelists will join us, will also throw light on that. Wanted to really take you to what is happening really in the ecosystem, in the customer place. We have a lot of data loss. All of these are instances that have happened globally. They are close at home as well. A lot of people are losing data and all that stuff. What does that lead to? That really leads to a lot of financial loss. Right? That is something that no companies want, right? 173 million just because somebody lost unencrypted USB drives. That's not funny at all. And that's what so these are cases where companies have lost enormous amount of money, huge PR disasters, and they don't know where to go. But this happened in Korea last year. Really, I mean, and these are not CIOs. These are banking CEOs of 3 banks coming here. Why? Because one of their vendors came out and really picked out data on a USB drive from their ID admin. 40 million people lost their data. 40 million people really lost. They lost contacts of 40 million people. All the CEOs lost their jobs, of course. But this is much beyond the jobs. It is about personal data security. I'm sure none of us want to be in that scenarios. And that's where we want to keep you secure, help you be secure. Why do you need it? Right? Really, because you lose privacy. There is a huge risk of huge PR and financial disaster. None of the companies want it, right? PR disaster, financial loss. Nobody wants to be talked about in the last picture. Nobody wants to feature in the last picture, which was all across the globe, right? And again, if you look at it, the average cost of data breach was 7.2 million USD in 2012. Of course, this is a third-party research. 2013, 2014, it was significantly more. We did talk about Sony, right? And 2014 was full of these. So, what are the challenges that you have? This is a survey result of in 2013 on mobile security. You look at this, the first data point. The primary concern is lost or stolen devices. That's the CIO speaking globally, right? And that's a huge concern. I mean, none of you, all of you would be really, none of you can really deny it. All of you can relate to it. But the next one is equally startling. You lose devices, but then the gap is that you don't. The CIOs don't realize that they need security in terms of encryption, in terms of hardware, software encryption. So that is a huge gap, and that's the gap that we need to fill if we are to save ourselves from all those losses that I have talked about in the previous slides, and especially you, financial institutions. Why do you need it? Willie Sutton was very right. You have the money, and that's why you need all those security. You have all those data points. 39% top data security breach involved confidential business information. That's the bread and butter. No organizations want it, more so financial institutions. And that's where we need to really open our eyes and look at where we are in terms of our overall security strategy. Just keep going. Yeah. So that's where you need more protection than the normal organization. And how is data access illegal? You lose devices, you have hardware issues, you send it to of course, your vendor. And IBM study says that 90% of drives that go out for repair really have their data was still accessible. Right? Organizations, of course, and one of the how do you solve it, right? Full disk encryption, right? That's what you really look at. Full disk encryption as maybe a way to get there, but then there are challenges there. I mean, most of you would be using full disk encryption as a solution for your hardware, for your security, the basic layer of security that you have, but they are complex. There are performance issues. The user experience goes down significantly. Really, I mean, that's where we come in, right? And there are challenges, right? That's where we come in and try and help you solve all of these challenges which you face with in your today's ecosystem. In case you have an encryption solution there for you to help you. So that's where we come in. We are WinMagic. We are a Toronto-based company founded in 1997. So we have 18 years of experience with us. We are a pure-play encryption company. We don't do anything else. We just believe in making sure that we are there to help you at the fundamental layer of security that all organizations need. We are, of course, fairly big. We have customers in 84 different countries across the globe, and we have all the certifications. We have 256-bit encryption. We are the first company in the world to be FIPS certified on encryption. So we have a legacy. We have a strong foothold in the market on encryption, and we have been there. And been there with a difference amongst the competition. Who says that? A lot of people, right? Including Gartner, where we are really the leading visionary with we being closest to the completeness of vision on encryption, on security at the fundamental level. And that's what we are. We have been there in 2013 also, we were there, 2012 also we were there. So, and if you see, we are moving ahead of competition in terms of closeness of vision. And that's our bread and butter. We are significantly big in terms of our product development, and that's what we do. I mean, we don't do everything else in the world. What are our differentiators? Really, there are 4 key differentiators that we have that help you secure. And really, I don't want to talk about competition per se, but then these are the differentiators that you might be looking at when you are looking at helping yourself on that fundamental layer of security. I'll go very quickly one by one on each one of these. The first one is unique pre-boot network-based authentication. Right? You have pre-boot authentication and all of that, but you don't. No other player, or we don't have anybody doing pre-boot network-based authentication. So it actually helps you authenticate simultaneously at the server, but also authenticate it with your Active Directory. And that is a unique feature that gives you a lot of flexibility in terms of password recovery, data recovery in case of crashes, and all of that stuff. So this one is unique, and it gives you a lot more. The second feature is management through one console for all kind of heterogeneous environment, right? Or support for Windows, Linux, Android, iOS, OS X. So essentially, what we're talking about here is authentication and key management through one particular console. You authenticate it, you get in through your system, and then you have your laptops, your hard drives. In your laptops, your tablets, your phone, cloud, server. So you can manage all of this through a single sign-on, encrypted environment, authenticated per the company policy. Right? And all of this happens at pre-boot on a network. So again, this is something that can really help organizations reach a level from one single console managing all encryption on a single console. And this single console thing really helps you which is the third very key differentiator, which is the changing marketplace, right? We have today a lot of SEDs coming into the market globally. So in India it's not as prevalent, but then it's growing. You have self-encrypted drives which are there in the market, and so you need to encrypt and your environment is such. You have a part of your environment which uses self-encrypted devices, a part of your environment which have Microsoft, Android, iOS. So you have a heterogeneous environment. How do you, with one particular solution, kind of map all of these and manage them through one single console? And that's what we do. Right? That is what we bring together. All of these together, heterogeneous environments, one particular console, ease of management. Ease of management for the IT guys, ease of usage for the users in terms of password recovery and all of that. And the last part, which is essentially my last slide here, is the strong industry validation. We have become pre-installed in HP and Lenovo laptops, which are pre-encrypted, and of course these are the two biggest players in the corporate market or the enterprise segment per se, and we come out in the market and kind of come pre-plugged in these brands of laptops, right? So this is pretty much what I wanted to talk to you about in terms of fundamental layer of security. How can you use manage your encryption better through one single console, single sign-on, less headache, better total cost of ownership, and stuff like that. So pretty much this is the end of my slides. I'm happy to take any questions.